So real quick, just on the question of synchronicity, I mean, I think we've hit all the really powerful parts, and I think that Jung, I think as I understand, had quite a sort of metaphysics built up of how he was understanding what these synchronicities are,
Mhm.
which I can't speak to in the full depth because I'd have to at least read Bernardo Kastrup's book because I apparently understand Jung was something of an idealist in maybe some ways. So there's something to that would need to be.
Mhm.
So I don't want to touch on it on that point, but I do find moments of resonance certainly in my life and unexpected resonance that do seem to be suggestive of, let's say, bigger patterns at play, right?
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And I think that maybe that's a very loose way of talking about something where um, that is actually not too hard to naturalize in any like kind of destructive way, but like we are playing out patterns we do not see all the time, right?
Yeah.
And when we bump up against something that would seem too orderly to be random, which it is, we're experiencing a kind of pattern that we're sort of like, oh, that's really weird, but of course at the same time, and something's going on here. And then it's a fascinating line and level of inquiry of how we could start to study those patterns better.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That part of the reason I ask is actually that's part of my work. I've
Mm,
spent a few years now. I learned about synchronicity from someone who had spent 20 or 30 years studying it. Like studying it not in an academic reading sense, although that too, but
uh-huh.
studying it in the sense of in a first person, like, how, can I apply these ideas? What happens if I believe them? And
Yeah.
that, yeah. And I think that's very fruitful when it comes to synchronicity. And I've continued that work since I stopped working with him over the past 3 or 4 years. So I'd love, like, I feel like there's a lot of potential, fertile ground there
Yes.
for a future conversation.